what I encourage you to do is to make 2025 about becoming the matriarch of your life. And what I mean by that is becoming unapologetically you, reclaiming your sovereignty and your power, like unleashing your inner power and taking it back in the areas of your life where you might have given it away. This might show up in the ways you don't show up for yourself or in relationships to others, the times you don't speak up when you know you should, when you self-sabotage, when in fact you know there are things you want to be doing and putting out into the world. And becoming the matriarch of your life is this decision. It starts with a decision of saying, like, enough of not feeling enough. And I am actually going to take the control back of my life. And I am going to allow this part of me that I have either dimmed or suppressed or never allowed myself to lean into come out into the world. I am going to rebuild a solid foundation based on my core values. I'm going to raise my standards and I'm going to honor the divinity of my desires. And I'm going to start taking action in a way that actually supports my health and well-being and my joy. And that's actually also going to take into consideration the current season I'm in life instead of setting me up to fail. I believe that we are all powerful, magical, wise women. And sure, there's, that is developed with time. But imagine what kind of matriarch you will be in your life at 90 if you start really stepping into your sovereignty today. We think that we have all this time, and I really hope that we do. But it's right now. It's what you do right now that's also going to set you up for your future. And I don't think it's doing anyone any service if you are undervaluing yourself or your wisdom in the world. And I also know that it can be challenging to become the matriarch in your life because there will be pushback when you decide to take charge of your own destiny. There will be some big changes you will decide to make, some little, some big. And you might have your own obstacles to face that are different than mine or your friends that are yours to overcome. I believe it's kind of like that hero's journey. We all have our dragon to slay. And when you decide to reclaim your power, that dragon is going to shoot some major fire at you. And I know that. And if you can, like, prepare yourself for that. And sometimes it's like going through the fire that's going to allow you to rise like a phoenix from the ashes. Okay. So I encourage you to make power, sovereignty, or being the matriarch of your life one of your key themes for 2025, because it will change your life. It will change the way you show up day in and day out. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to have days that are hard. When I made this decision for myself a couple of years ago, I was like, I'm going to become the matriarch of my life. I had no choice. I was making a decision to rebuild my life as a single mom. And man, that was not an easy decision to make. But in order to make that decision, I had to trust myself. I had to trust the inner wisdom and what it was telling me to do. I had to reconnect to the vision of the life that I actually wanted to live. And I had to have some hard conversations. And I had to show up for myself and for my daughter. That's been my motivator, is like, who do you need to show up for, born or unborn, in order for you to step into the powerful woman that you are meant to be? So that is something that I highly encourage you to consider and think about. Well, who is that version of me that I actually want to meet this year? And if you have a hard time doing that for yourself, think about who needs you to show up. Who needs you to fully live your life? It might be someone that's no longer here. Maybe your mom's passed away. Maybe your sister's passed away. Maybe your grandmother. Do it for them. Make them proud. If that's going to inspire you to take control of your life, then do it. It might be for your daughter's daughter. That is something I'm continuously connecting to. I often ask myself, what would I tell my daughter? And honestly, one of my biggest fears is to let her down. And I probably will at some point because, that will be part of her natural development to become an adolescent and challenge, her parents. I think that's quite normal, but easier said than done. But I know that one of my drivers in life is to be able to look at my daughter in the eye and tell her why I did what I did. And that can be really confronting because there's so many parts of me that I still want to hide. There's so many times where I want to quit. there's so many times when I don't want to show up. Okay. Like, I think maybe you don't have those, but amen. Okay. If you're looking for a perfect coach, I'm not your perfect coach. I still have shit to work through. Okay. I think we all do, but I guess I think transparency is something I aspire to while also keeping a certain amount of privacy. So, needless to say, reconnecting to that part or igniting that part of myself has been game changing. And I know it will be for you because I believe that women are here to change the world and we already are changing the world. We are all here because of a woman and a man, but we all came through a woman's womb and a woman's body. And like, we are the creatives that like literally have been given this potential to create life, whether you have children or not. That's not the point. But there's something about your womb's wisdom that is something that I also like to tap into, that you're here to share in the world. You have medicine, you have gifts, you have something that you're uniquely here to experience and contribute to our world. And if you feel like you're not doing that, then become the matriarch of your life. Turn that on. Give yourself the challenge to see how much you can make yourself proud in 2025. So with that, I do want to share with you a little bit about this opportunity for us to work together. So like I said, we are in the Black Friday like season, and I wanted to make sure that I provided you with a great opportunity at a great price to take your life back into your hands and have an incredible year. So for now until the end of the month, November 30th, I'm offering this special discount on the Matriarch program. So instead of paying $1,997, you're paying $997. Or there's also a payment plan if you prefer. And when you join Matriarch, so first of all, what I've touched upon it a little bit, but what this program is about, it's about getting your life back. It's an 8 to 10 week program, depending on the season. And in January, it's going to be 9 weeks, the live full program. And what you do in Matriarch is you reconnect to who you really are. You rediscover what you really want. And you create a game plan to set yourself back up in your personal and professional life in the direction you want to go. So I help you craft a vision for your life that you're actually excited to wake up and work towards. And the idea with Matriarch is it's a full life reset. I designed it for women who are at a crossroads, and who wanted to recreate the life that they wanted after either a period of strife or a major transition, or a period where they are in an identity shift where they're not who they thought they'd be, or where they thought they were going to be in their life. And the Matriarch program is a step-by-step process. I'll walk you through it in a moment, where you really look at where you're starting from in order to build a bridge to where you actually want to go, and leave with a simple and clear action plan that teaches you how to take action in a way that honors the woman that you are today. This is about also releasing the patriarchal conditioning that promotes busyness and hustle culture and burnout, and it's not working. And this is about you turning things around for yourself and doing things in a way that actually helps your well-being, okay? And every other facet of your life. So I'll give you an example. When you go through the Matriarch program, these are the kind of things that have come out of women who have gone through it. You'll realize some goals that you come into the program wanting to realize, or some that you didn't even know you wanted. We had a woman last fall. She wanted to change her career. That was the main driver. She had been working in corporate for about 10 years. She had 2 kids, and like life was good. Like everything looked fine. But she had this desire to make a difference and to change her career. And in going through Matriarch, what it led her to is getting really clear on the kind of business she actually wanted. And one of the things specifically that Matriarch was helpful for her was being able to say no to all these other great opportunities that weren't actually in alignment with what she really wanted. Matriarch helped her see more clearly what it was that kept coming through over and over again. It was obvious for me as her coach to see that she really wanted to get into real estate. But what was more challenging was, one, leaving the security of a very great job, but also say no to opportunities coming from friends or people she respected that were also really valuable. So Matriarch provided her a framework where she could discern what was actually meant for her and actually make the decision to focus on her true career or her true leap. And that was to leave her corporate job and start her real estate company. And Matriarch taught her to have these conversations with her husband and realize like he was super supportive of it and see things a little differently so that she could actually make the move. And by the end of the program, she actually, the last day that we had a one-on-one together, because she had joined the VIP opportunity, which was a certain number of one-on-one sessions in addition to the core program, she sent off her resignation letter. And it was her last day at her corporate job when we had our last call, and she started her real estate company over the summer. That's an example. Another example is Krista, who's currently redoing the program now. She did it in the summer of last year, wanting to like expand her coaching business. But as we were going through the visioning work, what was really coming through was a desire to start a family. And when we were doing these visioning exercises, I'm like, it's kind of interesting that this coaching program you say you want to lead, like, isn't showing up anywhere. It only shows up when you're thinking about what you should do versus connecting to what is really calling you. And yet what was hard for her to see was, well, how would I even prioritize starting a family? I'm single right now and in my mid 30s, like it doesn't make sense. And so through the work, what came through was the partnership that she craved. And she also joined the VIP. On the last day of our last one-on-one session, I found out she was pregnant. And well, actually, she found out the day before. She texted me. She's like, "Do you have time for a session tomorrow?" And she's like, "I'm pregnant." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay." So this was like, wow, super transformative. And now she's back in the Matriarch program, recreating as a mom. And it's so beautiful to witness. So that's something that can happen. You might come and be like, you know what? I need to like revamp my professional life. And you might have an inner desire. Maybe it's for a family or maybe to travel or something else that comes through. And my job as your coach is to hold you and staying true to what really is calling you forward and help you take the steps that will get you there. Another great example is in the way you're going to show up in your life when you do the Matriarch program. And this is something that to me is so important. And I went through as well, was really speaking up in moments where I would have otherwise stayed silent. And I walked a client through the Matriarch program one-on-one earlier this year. And one of the highlights from that, she shared with me like how setting boundaries, taking time for herself and really reconnecting to what she wanted was something that was tremendously valuable for her in doing the program. But it was also, she shared this example where she finally like put her foot down with her mother-in-law in a situation where she's like, would have otherwise never said anything. But there was a situation that happened and she's like, I'm not taking this anymore. Because she had reclarified what her values were and raised her standards to meet that. And then she also developed the courage because one of the things she wanted to pass down to her daughter was to be courageous. And in order to do that, she needed to awaken her own courage. Is that she decided to speak her truth and actually take her family and be like, we are leaving the situation right now. I am not taking this anymore. And her husband was like, whoa, who's my wife? And that might seem like a simple, silly example, but to me, that is like so important. How many women do you know who do not honor their needs and put themselves like last on their list and live with this kind of gray feeling of inadequacy because they do as if everything's fine, but in actuality, it isn't. And it doesn't mean that they don't have great relationships with the people they stand up with. In fact, they actually give those people permission to do the same. By respecting themselves, they show others that it's okay for them to respect themselves too. So that's another example of who you become in the Matriarch program, is you become someone who owns her worth, who honors her needs. And that is a gift that you also give for every other human being in your life when you do that. You show them that it's okay and it's actually necessary. Okay. And in addition, you also leave with a framework that you can come back to over and over and over again whenever you need to revisit different aspects of your life or your life as a whole. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited that this coming round will also include the digital program. So when you join Matriarch, not only will you get the live course, which is 9 weeks, and how that works is that every week for 9 weeks, we have 1 or 2 coaching calls where I take you through the core practices to walk you through the whole framework. I'll share that with you in a moment. But you'll also get access to the digital course, which means that you can go back and revisit some of the core concepts I teach you whenever you need them. You'll have access to them for the lifetime of the program. And that is so awesome because having been someone who's gone through many programs, like in my coaching and personal development lifetime, I have loved the ability to go back and revisit one lesson. Be like, oh yeah, I needed that. I needed that reminder. Great. That's why I spent that much money. I actually just yesterday, I was in a year-long container last year, and I went back to one of the PDF documents from that year-long container that was like, that's what I needed to go through today. And I have this amazing toolbox that I get to use in my personal and professional life. And I also curate some of that into the Matriarch program. So you'll get access to that. And when you join early, you have a role to play in the refinement of that because you get to share some feedback if you so choose. Okay. So let me walk you through just quickly what the Matriarch program looks like, particularly if you're someone who's like, I like to know. Like I've joined many programs without knowing what the heck I was really getting myself into. And that was really edgy. And part of me kind of wants to challenge you to do that. The other part of me is like, I get it. You've been through a lot of programs before, and you might be a bit nervous about joining another one because you might be like, oh, what if the next, like, this isn't one that works for me? So I just want to address that right off the bat. One, if you've been in the personal development space for a period of time and you've worked with coaches before, you've done personal development courses, and you're feeling like, oh, well, I didn't get anything from there. I actually sent an article to my Matriarch women last week about the 1 degree rule. And this is the idea that if an airplane shifts its course by 1 degree, it will land in a completely different place than it was supposed to. And this is something that I take for myself, and I have for years. And that's one of the reasons I still love investing in personal development courses and reading books, is that I tell myself, if I get one distinction that shifts my perspective or improves my life, then that has been worth it. There's Atomic Habits by James Clear. Love that book. I got like 2 things out of that book that have really stuck with me. I'm sure if I read it again, I'd get something else. And I'm grateful because I'm like, I apply those 2 things in my life. There's I just shared with you an example of a year-long container I was in. There was so much that I got out of that program, but there's this one practice I come back to over and over again. And I can't say whether or not my life would be the same had I not joined that course, but I'm so grateful I did because I did learn a lot and I changed a lot and I was held through it all. So if you have this feeling that you've been kind of let down in the personal development space, I get it. There's different quality for sure. However, I also want to encourage you to notice what have been your 1 degree shifts. What might or might not have happened had you not joined. There are so many things for me, like whether it's in terms of how much money I would have made, decisions I would have taken or delayed for years to come, or things that would have taken me way more time had I been left to my own devices. And one of the reasons I've really focused on Matriarch being a group experience is that I'm a lone wolf and I do a lot of my things on my own. However, I really love containers where I'm part of a group and a community because there's something so inspiring about being in other people's energy and learning from them. And then also let them learning from me. So this is one of the things I love in Matriarch is seeing the women come together and how they inspire one another and how much they inspire me. Like I'm just grateful that I'm here and chosen to be the guide. Okay. So I just want to throw that in there in case you have this feeling where you're doubting the value that you've received out of investing in yourself. I think you need to check that and really get honest about either how you showed up and did the work, because did you? Because if you didn't, then maybe this is an opportunity for you to say, like, I'm actually going to show up differently this time and not do the same thing I do every single time. What did you actually get? This is something you can do like in general for your life, but I think it's really important, particularly when you're considering different programs for yourself and to see, well, how do I want to show up and how will it be different this time because of the way I'm showing up, and how will it add momentum to all the tools that I have? And maybe there'll be tools you've seen before, but you're going to approach them as a different person with a different energy. So just saying that. Okay, so with Matriarch, I'll just go quickly around the like 3 core buckets that we tap into. The first part of the program is all about creating fertile ground. And what I mean by that, it's about making a room in your life to clean out the shit and make room for the next version of you to emerge. And how we do that is I walk you through what I call the 7 guiding lights. So this is a perspective shift to out of which we're going to look at the rest of the program journey through. So these 7 guiding lights, you can keep them in your back pocket if ever you want. I have a free training that takes you through the 7 guiding lights. You can just send me a DM and I'll send it to you. And this is really great for you to shift your focus, and you can come back to them at any time and let one of the guiding lights lead the way. In the moments when you're like, I don't know what I need to do, well, those 7 guiding lights will show you how. The next thing we look at is like really assessing where you're starting from in your life without judgment. We got to get clear about what's actually going on. And this is something I really want to take a moment to address here, because this is something I feel has been missing in programs that I've been a part of. Is there's this, desire to just like go move forward, charge forward. But when we overlook looking at your life from a more holistic perspective, we might be missing out on some really valuable information and things we need to tackle in order for you to get the results that you want. You might, we look at the different scopes of your life. We look at your life generally, but then we look at how are things in your health, your relationships, your finances, your career, in your home life. And in just doing that assessment, you might see where's like the pebble in your shoe. What's that thing you need to start taking care of first and most in order to like make room for everything else that you want. Now, with that, I got to say, there's also some limits to how far we can go. I'm not a doctor or a financial planner, but we go at deep enough that in the event that you need additional professionals to support you, you will have some clarity on that. So in starting where you are, there's also this empowerment that happens because you can't start from anywhere else than where you are. And it doesn't mean you're going to stay there when you get clear on it. And on the contrary, when you look at something, that's often what happens is things change, as we did at the beginning with the breath work. Okay. So we look at that, and then we also practice waking yourself up to new possibilities and declaring what it is that you want. This is something that you need to do over and over again, because otherwise the world is going to tell you what you should want, and you're going to disconnect from that voice inside. So a big part of our practice in the Matriarch program is to tune into the whispers of your heart and the wisdom of your womb. Okay. Then we actually go through practices to clean your inner and outer world. If your external environment is totally chaotic, well, it's going to have an impact on your ability to think clearly about what it is that you want. So we do take time to reorganize your physical environment so that you can feel safe and have room to dream again. Okay. This is also something that is very unique to the Matriarch program, because I think it's important to know like what's actually happening in your physical environment that might be impacting your mental and physical well-being. This brings me back to when I started my coaching business over like 10 years ago. I was coaching my web designer, and we were working on her business. And in doing this kind of practice, I realized that she was working from her bed a lot of the time. And I was like, you can't work like that. Like that is not good for you in the long term. So in looking at what's actually your setup, or another client of mine, she wanted to start her business and she wasn't getting great sleep. So I was like, well, what's your bedroom setup like? And like, there's clutter underneath her bed. Like she didn't have good blinds. And just in resetting her bedroom space, which was not at all what she thought she was going to get out of working with me, it had a huge impact. So I was like, you getting good sleep is really important. If you want to change your life and change your career, we need to make sure that you're like living in a good environment. Not only was it good for her sleep, it was good for her relationship. And her husband is now her business partner in this amazing business they've created. Just saying. Okay. Now, we also go in the creating fertile ground section into releasing what no longer serves you. This is, it's a bonus session in the live program called the Release Ceremony, which is a deeply healing session where you get to declare and release like what's weighing down on your heart. You don't have to come prepared to this ceremony, but it is honestly like years of therapy in a few minutes. And then you like draw the line in the sand and then open your heart again. It is so beautiful, so powerful. And I think being witnessed in your healing is so needed. Listen, I love one-on-one work, and therapists are so needed. They're incredible human beings. I think it's a great way to combine therapy with group healing sessions. Okay. You can have different modalities support you on your journey. Once we've made room in your life, we then shift into what I call a new way of being. This is where we recreate who you are. So if there's any part of you that's like, I don't know who I am anymore. I've been there, like just this year. I was like, I don't know. I've been like in this constant identity expansion, call it a midlife crisis, if you will. I think it's many things. I saw this reel recently that made me laugh out loud, quite literally. It was like these people like hitting a drum. They're saying like how millennials won't have midlife crises because their whole life is a crisis. And it made me laugh because of all the things that have been going on in the world. Anyway, in a new way of being, we start by expanding your possibilities and like removing the blinders and allowing yourself to dream again, giving yourself permission to think like, whoa, what would I love to experience? What would I love to learn? What would I love to contribute? I'm in this world of, personal development as a coach, and this is part of my job, but I see how it's needed to reawaken that inner child in us that was like, I want to be a superwoman. And yeah, dream big, and then we'll bring it down to reality eventually. But when we live in a world where like a certain person can become president twice, like possibilities are endless, my friend. And what I'm most interested in is really connecting to the dreams that are inside of you, like only you. The Alchemist is my favorite book of all time. And if you want an inspiring read over the holidays, paired with Aspiring Mama, read The Alchemist, and it will show you the importance of connecting to your heart's desires and listening to the dreams that choose you. Because sometimes there's dreams we impose on ourselves. And I feel the most powerful ones are the ones that we co-create with this inner wisdom that we have. So in this space of creating a new way of being, I take you through different practices to help you start to see like new possibilities for yourself and tune in to the whispers and callings of your soul. And we turn on pleasure. Like we make this fun. Like we literally talk about turning yourself on, not only like in general, like just like, oh, I'm going to turn on my life, but like literally pleasure yourself, girlfriend. Like we need to have more fun in our life and make it a priority. And this is something that you might need to actually practice. And when we were in this theme just recently in the fall program, I remember at least I wanted to have a dance party. I just wanted to go to bed. But I was like, you know what? Pleasure is a priority this week. So we danced our asses off and we had a lot of fun and I don't regret it. Okay. So we're going to talk about prioritizing pleasure. And from there, help you craft a new vision for your life. And this is so much fun. We're actually just wrapping that section up in the program right now. And this allows you to lean into a future that's far enough where you feel expanded and excited, but also brings things into the moment as I help you reset the foundation for the woman you need to be today in order for that vision to become a reality. So from crafting your vision, you also get to reconnect to what are the values, the core pillars of your life that will then become your internal compass and that you will make all your decisions around. This is so important to reconnect to your values and redefine them as you evolve in your life, because what a value was for you a year ago may not be the one you need to lead your life with this year. Okay, so this is a practice, again, you can come back to over and over again. Once you've reconnected to a new way of being, which also includes, resetting your mindset, reconnecting to the little practices, habits, and rituals that actually build momentum in your life and committing to those, we then talk about taking aligned action. And this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where I help you set your focus and channel your energy into one core project or goal that lights up your soul. This is where if you want to start your business, you want to write a book, you want to start a family, you want to take charge of your health, this is where we see like, where do you need to start? What do you need to focus on and commit to in order to build momentum towards the vision that you are being called to? You might have a lot of things you want to accomplish, but in Matriarch, I really help you focus on that one singular project or goal, however big or small. I don't care. This is where it's big because it's big for you. And the way we tackle it is that it could be starting your business. It could also be like quitting your job. And we use the same tools and practices for you to get clear on what's that focus. And then how can you break it down into a simple 90-day game plan so that you're actually taking action and breaking something that could be big and like a multi-year project into something that is actionable and that you will see results in or results around in a short amount of time. Momentum, keyword here. Within the aligned action section of Matriarch is the soulful productivity technique. And I love teaching this because soulful productivity is a new way of getting things done that takes into consideration how you want to show up in the world, what roles you play, what's actually on your plate, what needs do you have as a human being, your cycle as a woman and the seasons in nature and of your own nature. So this is a way that is, in my opinion, more holistic, where we help you create a structure for your life to get things done while also leaving room for you to breathe and recuperate and not have to earn rest or play, but actually weave that into your life on a day-to-day basis because it's innate and necessary for you to thrive. So that's the essence of the Matriarch program. And all of this, and these are the two things that I think is probably the most valuable of the Matriarch program. Like, this whole framework is awesome, but what makes it all the more powerful is the intention of creating a safe and inspiring environment for your nervous system to relax and for you to be seen and supported in your transformation. You could take everything I shared with you today and be like, I'll figure it out on my own. Totally, go. If that's what you want to do, amen to you. If that works for you, amen to you. As much as I'm a lone wolf, I know I need support in my life. I know I need to be held. I need a coach. I need a container, because otherwise, like, I will swerve off. And listen, there's been times where I've taken breaks. And if you're in like a period where you need to take a break, Shavasana is a really important part of yoga and in personal development too. Sometimes you just need a break, and that's totally okay. However, my experience is that I get better results in my life when I am supported. Okay. And so I feel this is really important. This feeling that I really stand for is that for the women in this group to feel seen and to feel safe, to show up as themselves, and I will not let someone hide. And that means that I will reach out to you when you're hiding. And I will say the things that maybe no one in your life will have the courage to say. And I might even shake when I say it, but it's important to me because your life is on the line. And I take that into consideration. And I also take into consideration all the people in your life that really love you. So Matriarch to me is way more than just a vision and goals workshop. This is a life transformation that I am a stand for. Okay. And in addition to that, so I'm getting like so passionate about it, is the women in the group, this sisterhood. You may have been part of groups where you haven't felt like you were fully in the right space. I've been there. Awesome people, maybe not your people. Matriarch is where awesome women meet. These are women for me that I'm like, this is my intention when I call them in. These are women that you want to sit around a campfire and like have a glass of wine with, but that you would also maybe want to like go on a weekend trip with. And these are the women that you're going to pour your heart and soul around and that will cheer you on when you're having a rough day. These are women that will be friends for years to come. And to me, that is such a gift. So that's Matriarch. And if you want to take advantage of this amazing deal right now, you can, and join at half price. And you'll get the live course that starts at the end of January, the digital course that will be made available at the same time and play a part by sharing your feedback if you so choose. And the last bonus that I'm so excited is that after the core program is complete, because the program that starts January 28th goes until the end of March, you will then get support until the end of 2025 via the membership, meaning that for the entirety of 2025, for $1,000, you can have access to an incredible live coaching container, a digital course, and year-long monthly support. So in the Matriarch membership, this is where we meet once a month. And we have conversations where I go deeper into one of the core concepts that we've touched upon or have yet to touch upon in the Matriarch program. And this is like every month has a theme based on what I see the group needs. Examples: we've had a prosperity and money masterclass, elevating your standards. We've reconnected to how to cultivate the loving energy in your life, as one of our guiding lights is living from a place of love or above. Even just in this fall's program, I led a free bonus money reset training after that was something that came up on one of our calls. And in fact, when you join today, you get access to that free training automatically. Okay. So that's super exciting. And there's some other fun things. If you join today, you'll also get access to any of the bonuses that I offer once the official launch happens at the beginning of the year. So my love, that's a lot. If you're ready to take action right now, if you're watching live on Facebook or you're watching live on Instagram, just shoot me a DM and I'll send you the link to sign up. And if you're watching the recording, well, you can just sign up by clicking the link below. If you have any questions, please let me know. I can't wait to have you part of our community and for you to have your needs met like today for the entirety of 2025. I remember signing up for a year-long container in 2022. Yes. And missing out on the Black Friday deal and being so disappointed because I ended up paying full price in January. And I'm so grateful that I joined that container. But I don't want you to miss out on this deal because it won't happen again. So I'm just saying, if you're feeling called to what I'm sharing, this is a really great opportunity. Like, this is the best opportunity to be supported. And I am so honored to be supporting you on this journey. So thank you so much for being part of this masterclass. I hope you got tremendous value. Let's finish 2024 strong. And I can't wait to step into 2025 with you. Have a beautiful day.